Welcome, everybody, to another live edition of the Investing Bros live show. We got a lot to talk about today, a lot of news to break down, a lot of charts to get into. The crypto markets are dropping right now, but a trap is developing. Is that trap going to send the price skyrocketing back to the upside, trapping out all of the bears and short positions? Or are anyone still left in the space feeling good about crypto? Are they about to be awoken by a rude awakening that's going to send prices much lower? We're going to talk about that and our speculation a lot more in this show. Make sure you stick around to the end so you hear everything you need to know about your crypto investments today. Make sure to smash that like button and hit subscribe. But first, we got to roll an intro. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is time to start the show. But first, before we get into all of those juicy details about the markets, got to introduce these two great-looking gentlemen right here. I got Smay down here on the bottom right. Smay, how are we feeling today?
I'm feeling funky, Tim.
Why is that?
Funky as in good, like as in as in
You got the funk. You've been dancing. Okay. There we go.
Like that.
Yes.
You're allowed 7 seconds, okay? That's how I feel.
Yeah. Please don't copyright strike this episode. I'm also joined here by T-Shroom, the news man, the stock man, the hodl man. T-Shroom, how are we feeling today?
I'm feeling funky, Tim. More funky than I deserve after that beautiful little serenade to the intro of this video. I'm really glad that everybody's tuning in. If you're tuning in, this isn't just another day to tune into a live stream. This is a special day. We're really glad you're here.
Yeah. Before we jump into the details, Smay, I think you got to play it again.
The fish?
I think, we got to play it again. If he's funky and you're funky, just one more time for the bros, and then we'll get in here. No sound. All right, cut it off there. No copyright strikes here. Guys, we got a lot to go into. As we said, crypto prices are dropping. It is something to be aware of. Where should we be looking for support? Is a trap being set? And what would that mean? Before we get into the charts, get into the details, we've got to get our 1 minute news wrap up with T-Shroom. T-Shroom, go ahead and take it away. What do we got today?
I will be taking it right away. Elon Musk has confirmed he wants to put the U.S. Treasury on blockchain. This has now been confirmed by Forbes. Bros, let me know in the chat. Let me know in the comments which chain should the Treasury's data be put on to keep it transparent. Let's go ahead on to the next headline here. ONDO announces an L1 has been launched for that $100 billion asset manager. VanEck predicts Solana, Solcoin, will reach $520 by the end of the year. Cap? Swedish crypto asset manager Virtun launches AVAX and Cardano ETP for investors in Finland. Some big news coming out from the Scandinavian Nordic countries there. $472 billion asset manager US Bank reports 24 million holdings in Bitcoin ETFs. The whales are buying, bros. This is up from its previous 14 million, according to its latest Securities and Exchange Commission compliance filing. And the Bank of England cuts rates by 25 basis points to rest at 4.5%, right alongside the U.S. rate, by the way. Jerome Powell, what's next? Folks are asking. Investors want to know. And here's some interesting news. Czech President signs law scrapping the capital gains tax on Bitcoin held over 3 years for its citizens. Could the U.S., the U.K., and Canada be next? These are all some of the things we'll be talking about in today's show. Thank you so much for tuning in. We'll be getting Tim's take on all these headlines and more. And if you just cannot hold back your take, you've got to share your take. Go to the link down below in Discord. Sign up for free. That's right, a free trading and investing community where you can share your thoughts on these stories and ask us about our thoughts on your favorite crypto altcoin.
Absolutely. By the way, special shout out to the sponsor of today's episode. That is Luxalgo. Yes, If you guys have watched the channel, you've seen me use LuxAlgo on every single live show we've ever done here. The reason why is because it is the #1 trading indicator on the markets. It has taken not just mine, but several other traders' game to a whole new level. You can sign up with a link down below, get 20% off when you use our link. And what's even better than that, when you sign up with our link, you can join our private VIP trading group and trade with some amazing traders today. Go sign up with LuxAlgo down below. Let's go to my screen. Let's take a look at the bubbles, how the markets are performing here, Smay. A lot of red, a lot of pullbacks happening here today. And it's pretty equal. You're going to see some of these, like Virtual's down 16%, ENA's down 13%. Then you have some others in the 7-8% category, like SUI and HBAR. CASP is down 11%. But all the bubbles are pretty equally sized, which means this is a pretty even market dump that has happened. Crypto all around. It's not just one select one here. It's not just one select one there. The crypto markets as a whole are pulling back over the last 24 hours. On the silver lining side, a lot of time when you see such a consistent red day, it's very common the very next day for everything to be green. So don't be surprised if we come back tomorrow's show and we see a whole sea of green. That doesn't tell us, though, what the next couple of weeks, months, years look like for crypto. For that, you got to stick around and stay with the show. Let's get in here to Bitcoin. Let's take a look at the Bitcoin chart. We are still pulling back here today. If you were watching us the last couple of days, we have been talking about after this nice bounce, after the February 2nd crash, where we had a 24-hour period with the greatest crash in Bitcoin history. Yes, you heard me right. The greatest and strongest crash in history. We lost more money in the markets than we lost with FTX. We lost more money in the markets than we lost with COVID. We lost more money in the markets than we lost with the Elon Musk FUD. Not a single event in the history of Bitcoin caused such a liquidation as what we saw right here on February 2nd when we crashed back down towards $91,100. Since then, we have bounced back up, but I have been telling our community now for multiple days now, keep an eye on the Fibonacci golden pocket level, a former resistance level turned into support, and now it looks like we want to turn it into support once again. This is going to be a very significant psychological factor here around 95,300. We're dangerously close here as we did just drop a couple of minutes ago to 95.7. I don't think that this pullback is quite over, but there's just a plethora of reasons that we are watching that particular spot. We have smart trails such as like the 4-hour in here. I told you about LuxAlgo earlier, a very, very fantastic indicator. Its smart trail is corresponding with this level. You have the liquidation chart from the Bros indicator. This is a private individual indicator we created, and you can select that in the option down below with a massive liquidation yellow line right there. Again, you're looking for the bright liquidation levels. Sitting here, guess where? 95,375. This means the most amount of longs liquidated will be liquidated if we hit that level. Now, of course, there's some more liquidations to the downside. If a snowball effect starts to happen, we could go a lot lower. But with a lot of support sitting right here around 95.3, with that being the highest amount of longs could be liquidated, this is a definitive target from bears to push us to the downside. What happens afterwards? Well, that is what we're going to talk about here for just a little bit. And if you watched yesterday's show, I was very, very happy to have a very good friend of mine, Josh from Stocks with Josh, on our channel. And throughout the episode, he talked about a bearish scenario, in which case that potentially, if we start to lose some major levels like 90,000, we could go a lot lower. He even talked about levels like 45, 32,000, and he clarified he was giving a bearish scenario. What I want you guys to be aware of on the charts right now is that that's exactly what a lot of bears want you to believe. That's exactly what a lot of, and by the way, Josh, if you listen to him and go watch his show, he talks about he's not as bullish as we are necessarily, but he has talked about he does not think that those lower levels are happening. He thinks we're making at least a move up into 120,000 before it's all said and done. But he did lay out a very scary situation that's causing a lot of people to be concerned. We're now going to get into the details here of what we are looking at a whole. People right now need to clarify what exactly is going on with the Bitcoin space. We talked a lot about charts yesterday, and I want to talk charts again today, but if you are wanting to invest in the crypto space solely based off of charts, and you don't want to take into effect sentiment, if you don't want to take into effect fundamentals, if you don't want to take into effect the concept that this market is heavily manipulated and there's playbooks out there on how retail investors will end up losing and whales and institutions end up winning, then you're going to get wrecked. I put a tweet out about 20, 30 minutes ago, one of my most probably disliked tweets I've ever put out. I said a lot of people are about to lose a lot of money. People commenting in my comment section, they don't know what I mean. Yes, it's a very vague, what is Tim talking about? Cloud, shake. What I mean by this is a lot of people trade and invest based off of their emotions. They don't take into effect a lot of the biggest things, or they'll trade off of their emotions and only sentiment, or only fundamentals, or only charts. To be a healthy investor in this space, you need a holistic approach by looking at a lot of things. That's why, if you're ever wondering, we poll this all the time. Sometimes we poll people, what's your favorite part about the Investing Bros show? Some of you will say the charts. Some of you will say the news. Some of you will say SME. You got to have all of it, including SME, if you want to get a healthy perspective of what the bull market's supposed to look like, or if we're about to transition into a bear market. And there's a chart right now that is showing me a massive reason why I believe the markets are about to shoot back to the upside. And that chart is called the To Continue. Click here. Just kidding. We're going to close that ad. It's called the Bitcoin Fear and Greed Index. Now, it's coming in right now as we are producing this show at a 49. This is actually putting us in neutral. But what we've seen over the last couple of days, if you scroll back here, let's look at the last month. We have been as high in the last month, despite this as being a very frustrating bull market in the last couple of weeks. The 22nd, we got as high as 84. The other day on that scary dip, we ticked into fear for the first time in several months. In fact, let's go to the 3 months. Let's go to 1 year here. We were the lowest we were the other day, coming in here at 44, that we have been since way back in October, before Trump's election. Several months we have not been this low. And what's crazy about this is we tipped into fear. Right now we're sitting on the lower side of neutral. And yet, when I look at this chart and I look at where the price is, even let's just pretend that this came out when the price hit 91,300. Guys, we ticked into fear, meaning sentiment in the space was that Bitcoin was in trouble when we were at $91,300. If you don't understand what I'm talking about here, let me explain. The Bitcoin Fear and Greed Index, while it measures things in the sense of when price is down and people are bearish, it goes into fear. When everyone's super bullish and over, confident, it ticks into greed. The best way to use this indicator is when it ticks into heavy greed, you want to sell. When the markets are too confident, when people are too bullish, traps happen. People get stuck at higher levels. They're buying in because they're so bullish, and then boom, composite man hits and markets crash. However, as things start to tick back down towards the fear, especially if they get severely to the downside, well, even though no retail investor wants to buy and everyone's concerned that Bitcoin is going to continue to fall off of a cliff, that is when composite man swoops up and boom, he wants to buy every single asset. He's going to send prices back to the upside. This is a positive sign. And I just want to reflect here. Remember, I told you, we haven't seen this level of fear since way back in early October. Let's go see the last time we were at this level. Where was the price of Bitcoin? I saw October 11th. So let's go back there. It would be back here when the Bitcoin price was sitting at $60,200. Ladies and gentlemen, we are back at the same level of fear in the market right before we took off to the upside. Only this time we are over $30,000 higher to the upside. What does this say? This says to me that a massive bear trap is being set for retail investors because the composite man, the institutions, they understand that most retail investors are only trading with their emotions. They understand that people might look at a couple indicators here or there. Maybe they know the charts just a little bit, but they'll look for the littlest circumstances on the charts, in the news, or anything to be extremely fearful. And when they catch you back in your fear, that's exactly when they pounce. But one of my biggest evidences, and I already talked about it on this show, I want to remind people, do not sleep on the significance of what we saw happen February 1st, February 2nd with this massive, massive, massive liquidation. This was the beginning of the trap, right? This was a trap that cost people billions of dollars, right? We had never seen that much money lost as we saw in the crypto markets on February 2nd, okay? In a 1 day period, never seen that kind of bleeding. And look what happened. The price shoots back up to 102. And now, right as everyone got confident again, the prices are bleeding. They're bleeding back down. And people once again are finding themselves in a position of fear, sending us into nearly a fear section. We're back in the neutral, but nowhere close to being back into greed. This is awesome. This is fantastic. What this tells me, when I look at that fear and greed index, when I look at these charts, when I look at what's happening here, and then I read my comment section on YouTube, I read the comment section on X, I'm seeing a growing unrest. There was a meeting that was had the other day with Crux. We had a portfolio review with one of our members. And in the meeting, this is a person that follows us day in and day out. They understand our takes on the market. They understand how we've broken things down. And in the meeting, while they wanted our advice, they vocalized just how afraid they were that they could lose everything in the altcoin space. And this is a person that didn't just buy crypto last week. He didn't buy crypto 3 months ago. He's been in the crypto space for over a year, and he's feeling the pain. What does that mean? It means Composite Man has you right where he wants you. If you are considering selling, that's exactly what you're supposed to do. And all these negative comments, all these negative thoughts, I have learned over my years of investing in crypto. And I haven't been here for 30, 40 years. I've been investing for a little over 4 years, coming on 5 years now, okay? Not the oldest investor in the world, but I've learned in my short 5 years of investing is when everyone feels overly confident, when the comment sections are filled with nothing but bulls, whoa. Woe to anyone watching the charts, you might be in trouble. But when you see a higher low being put in, when you see prices way higher than we've seen in the past, and yet people are freaking out, that's the greatest time to be scooping up some buying. But when I say that people are going to lose a lot of money, I'm not talking about myself, and I'm not talking about Composite Man. I'm talking about all the people who are capitulating right now, who are selling off for fear that we might be about to plummet further in the crypto market. There's 147 reasons that's not going to happen, but some of the biggest ones are ones we're going to cover here in just a couple of minutes. That's going to wrap up the Bitcoin chart for now. We'll take a look at some other altcoins here in a little bit as we get into the news, but I want you to be prepared. I'm not telling you guys to go mortgage your house and put every single dime you have on Bitcoin. In fact, as I said the other day, if you have bills coming up that you do not have that money in your bank account and you're holding too much in crypto, sell it. Make sure you pay your bills. Make sure you pay your mortgage, put food on your table, make sure your kids are fed, cleansed, and healthy, okay? Do not overinvest in crypto just because Tim Warren is bullish. But if you have yourself in a position where the bills are being paid, your income is solid, but you have a certain amount that you can risk it, I'm telling you right now, this is the point on the market where people who capitulate end up regretting it only a couple of short weeks later. You do not want to be that side. And I tell you this, guys, I'm not telling you this as someone with a perfect record. I'm telling you this as someone who has capitulated when things seem bleak, who has sold off thinking, oh, we have to be going much lower now based off of what I'm seeing on the charts. And it ended up being a bear trap that sent the price skyrocketed to the upside. And I had to learn a very valuable lesson. When things seem dark, when things seem bad, a lot of times the sunlight is about to strike. You got to wait for it. You got to be a little more patient. Those who are patient are going to make a lot of money in this bull market. Those who need that money right now, I'm sorry, you're going to end up losing out on a lot of money. With that said, though, if you guys are enjoying the show, make sure to smash that like button, hit subscribe. T-Shroom, it's time to get into news. What is happening in the news right now causing us to still be overwhelmingly bullish at this point in the bull market? Take it away. You're muted.
Absolutely. I'd say the biggest thing is really this. We showed it yesterday. It's been a long time since we've kind of focused on this. This is a really cool account on X called Coinbase App Rank Bot. And so what this does is it aggregates data from the Apple App Store and it shows you what rank the Coinbase app is every day. So today's February 6th, and the last refresh of data was at 8 a.m., so it's a little bit dated. But you can see here, 144 is the current rank for Coinbase on the Apple App Store. In the subcategory of financial apps, 13, right? So this is to me, if we're reading this like a fear and greed index, this means that it is not significantly being downloaded. It's not being downloaded at a rate that should be alarming or signaling a market top. Why is this significant? Let's zoom all the way back out. So Coinbase is an app where people buy crypto, right? Normal people, retail investors, not so much institutions, right? And so in order to access crypto and see a huge rush of retail investors, people like you and me, people like your mom, your aunt, your nephew, your employees, your boss, whoever it is, the average person on the ground, they have to download an app like Coinbase in order to buy crypto. So being at current 144 rank is pretty bullish to me. It means we're not at the top, and we're not really even close to the top. And there's many other indicators that Tim just showed that tend to indicate that as well. All right, well, Tim, this is a pretty big headline around a coin that we follow. This is an altcoin called ONDO. And ONDO had a summit today where they announced that they're releasing a layer 1, and it's been launched. This is a RWA, a tokenization coin that has advisors with big names like PayPal and BlackRock. The layer 1 solves DeFi issues and secures RWA staking, DeFi support, and bridges TradFi and DeFi. It sounds like a lot of other plays, but this is much more heavy into RWA, and this has the backing of two of the biggest names in finance, and certainly the future of finance, BlackRock and PayPal. So, Tim, I want to get your take on this. How significant is this? Is this a really big next step forward for ONDO? And when the market picks back up, and we do have, more wind in the sails of altcoins, so to speak, another way to put it, when the manipulators stop suppressing prices of altcoins, do you think that this incremental step for ONDO is going to be represented in the price?
It is going to be very exciting. And I haven't been watching all the ONDO updates. I'm kind of getting them like a lot of other people as updates come out on X or in news sources. I know some people are watching it. They said there was like 5 minutes that was really entertaining, and then the rest of it's kind of been boring. A lot of times conferences are like that. Just break some ice for some of you guys. Sometimes crypto conferences are not as exciting as they're sometimes auditioned. But this news headline is big. And it's not just big because ONDO's doing this move, right? Any coin can come out and say, we're starting our own layer 1. We're going to handle all of this ourselves. That's just a thing, right? Lots of layer 1s out there that have flopped and failed. What makes this one significant is how much institutional adoption and interest was already going in its way, but they didn't have their own layer 1 solution to solve all the problems. So in this case, they would have had to partner. We've seen they were partnering with XRP, and they were partnering with Chainlink, and partnering, I believe there was a headline, they're partnering with Cardano, other layer 1s that can get some stuff done. We already know institutions want to work with ONDO. It's one of the reasons why ONDO is one of our favorite coins here on the channel. It's a coin I think is going to be a top 10 fringe coin, right? Maybe it doesn't actually get the top 10, but it's going to be right there kind of wrestling around number 10. And this headline just says, you know what? Not only is ONDO special in and of what it does itself, it now can house all of that with its own layer 1 solution. Big upgrade for ONDO. And some people are not into the details, the technology. I'll be very, honest with you guys. I'm not a tech wizard. This type of information doesn't mean a lot to me in terms of what I'm going to use. What I am is I'm an investor and a trader, and I understand how other people who are tech savvy, who are going to invest massive money into this, think. This is the type of headline that tells BlackRock and JP Morgan and Swift and others saying, look what ONDO's doing right now. They're really stepping up their game. Let's go even bigger into this project because they're going to be a game changer in the real world asset space. Do not be surprised, ladies and gentlemen. I still hold AVAX. Don't use this as Tim saying AVAX is going to die and burn and never going to be successful again. But I believe that ONDO, with a move like this, very, very well could end up becoming the number 2 real-world asset play behind Chainlink, topping even AVAX in this bull market.
Absolutely. And we'll keep trotting through the news here. Czech President signs law scraping crypto capital gains tax for Bitcoin. So only for Bitcoin, held over 3 years. Tim, is this potentially a foreshadowing of what's to come for the United States, the UK, and Canada, where there's a lot more AUM, a lot more money to rotate into Bitcoin?
Yeah, this is something I think could be very exciting. We know that Trump ran on his campaign saying that this is something that he would potentially look into doing. No promises. There's definitely other things he talked about in the crypto space that seem a lot more likely to definitely be happening. But it's something that I would absolutely love to see. It would mean a lot. And seeing another country, I know the Czech isn't necessarily going to move the needle on world economics when this happens, but watching other countries take this step and potentially end up having some real success with it could be a massive domino in America being one of the next countries. And remember, what Trump's desire is, this is what we do know. We don't know all the details of how it's going to get there, but we do know that he wants America to be the crypto capital of the world. Well, there's a lot of ways to do that, but right now, Dubai, you can go and trade your crypto and not pay a single dime in capital gains taxes. Now you can do it in Czech. There's several other territories and countries you can do this. If Trump's serious about being the hub of the world, what's going to push that over the line, what's going to push America into being number one, you got to match that same capital gains tax issue. Encourage people here in the States to build their cryptos here. Encourage Americans to invest heavily in crypto. And there's going to be a major game changer where America is the hub of cryptocurrencies. I think this is a foreshadowing of something to come. Maybe this year, maybe not, maybe 2026 or 2027. But I would love to see this happen sooner rather than later.
Absolutely. I love it. And I'll just sneak this one in here. We didn't talk about this in the show prep, but it should have been. Eric Trump, he tweeted out, feels like a great time to enter Bitcoin. So, the 4D chess players out there may say this is just to get you to be your exit liquidity here for Eric Trump, but that's up to you. That's what makes a market, because you can either agree with that statement or you can disagree with it. I'll tell you what, somebody asked a little bit earlier, is it a good time to buy ONDO? And I think it's a good time to buy Bitcoin and ONDO today. Mm-hmm. So that, but do so responsibly. Do everything responsibly. Have a little bit of sense when you're doing something, especially if your wife's disagreeing with you. Listen to her, right? Or if your husband's disagreeing with you, listen to her. Anybody who's smart and wise that you trust in your family, listen to what they have to say before you make a decision. All right, Tim, we got another pretty big headline. Now, admittedly, this one kind of came out a little while ago. I didn't give it a ton of legitimacy because it hadn't been super verified. All it was just Elon liking a tweet or something like that. Yeah. But Elon, maybe you've heard of Elon Musk, has confirmed he wants to put the U.S. Treasury on a blockchain. This is according to Forbes now. So I asked, what chain should it be on? I asked the bros over on X. If you're not following us at the Investing Bros, you're missing out. At Investing Bros with a Z. Matt C jumped in. He said ADA. That seems built for it. Crux said XRPL. Of course, that's the Ripple stablecoin. Jay said Dogecoin. Curtis Rorick said ADA. And many more. XLM, XCN, ACH, ETH was thrown out there. Algo, HBAR, ADA, Cardano. HBAR, Algo. So a lot. Tim, I want to give my opinion on this one first, but obviously I want your opinion too. My opinion is we would not see this in our election cycle, right? That there would need to be probably a whole nother administration before something like this would be implemented, because this would have to probably go through Congress. But I could be wrong about that on a couple of different fronts. Tim, what do you think? Do you think it's possible that we could see a blockchain like AVAX, Solana, Cardano, maybe even Bitcoin or Ethereum hosting the transaction data of the U.S. Treasury Department?
Real quick, while I'm giving my answer, Crux or Smay, whoever signed into the Bros account, let's put a poll in chat right now. It did look like those comments, in our group at least, Cardano, XRP, and then Dogecoin. I'll give my comments on those three. So make the options Cardano, XRP, Dogecoin, or other. And let's see what our community here on YouTube thinks about this. While you're typing that out, I'll give my take, and this is going to influence it because by the time it comes out, wrong poll. Yeah, so do a different. Well, no, this is good. What blockchain will be used to track U.S. government? All right, Crux must be ahead of it. ADA, AVAX, XRP, XLM, ETH, Bitcoin, Sol, Sui. Out of curiosity, Crux, why do we have pairings on this one? I'm interested in that thought process. Anyway, the most common answer is ADA XRP, and then we'll explore Doge for a second. To me, the obvious one would be Cardano. The way it's been built in a secure fashion that does not have major breakdowns or problems. It's built for security, yet decentralization, which sometimes that can be hard to accomplish. Like that is a major problem in the crypto space. How do you make something so decentralized and yet extremely secure and private? Like how do you make it decentralized but make certain information private? It's a massive problem that almost no crypto can really solve for. Cardano can. I saw XRP obviously on there and XRPL. I think that is a little off. I think XRP is going to be way better at handling money transactions. Also, I love XRP. I hold XRP. It's one of my largest holdings. I'm going to make a lot of money on it. I don't think I would want to trust XRP with that type of information. We're talking about, I would like to see decentralization rule here. XRP does not foot that bill. All right. So don't come at me, XRP army. I love XRP. XRP needs to solve a lot of other problems that our country has. Okay. But I don't think this is the right one for that, tracking all of that type of spending. I think Cardano would make a lot more sense in this case. When it comes to others like Dogecoin isn't built for it. But I think the joke is that Elon Musk has jokingly said Doge is his favorite coin. Obviously, Department of Government Efficiency, that would be ironic to use the Dogecoin meme coin as the way they track government spending. I get the joke, just don't think it's realistic. As far as other layer ones like Solana, Sui, maybe it's a little newer, doesn't have as much testing as some other coins. Solana's been tested very heavily. And again, not pooping on Solana because I love Solana. I hold a lot of Solana. I'm expecting big things from Solana. I think Solana just still has a little too many problems to be the right solution for putting government information and spending on. To me, and some people are going to disagree with me, and that is completely okay. To me, Cardano is what makes the most sense for tracking government spending and solving those problems like not only decentralization, solving security, solving certain levels of privacy, solving there's just nothing that compares to what Cardano could do in this situation. But you know what? I'll be honest with you. Let's say it is XRP. I'd rather have XRP than nothing. I want us tracking the government spending one way or another. The fraud that's being discovered right now in Washington, D.C. on how our country has been being run for years is absolutely atrocious. I'm a big fan of the blockchain doing it. And if XRP wins, that's fine. If Sui or Solana wins, that's fine. I think Cardano's what makes the most sense, but I just want it on the blockchain one way or another.
Very good. Very good. All right, let's see. Got some more news here. This one could okay, yeah, we got one more and then we'll talk about this Solana price prediction that's a little wild. So Bank of America has cut rates by 0.25% to 4.5%. This is obviously bullish. Let me explain why. This is a central bank. This is the Bank of England. Did I say Bank of Japan? Is it?
You said Bank of America.
Oh, did I? So Bank of America is not a central bank as much as they'd like to be. The Bank of England is a central bank over in the United Kingdom. And when they cut rates, that is opening the valve for the velocity of money. So more money can now flow into the economy. And of course, it first goes into the bonds, but then that adds additional liquidity for banks to be able to invest further and on and so forth. You do kind of need a little bit of a context in macroeconomics, and I just provided it for you. This is bullish. The big question, though, Tim, will the Fed go ahead and copy what the Bank of England and the Bank of Canada have done, as well as the ECB, the European Central Bank? Will they do that, or will they pause again in March and April? And just for context, the betting markets right now are predicting a pause in March and April.
Yeah, there's no guarantee at this point that anything big is going to happen here. So want to make sure I set that stage correctly. There's nothing promised to us that says absolutely we are going to get a cut just because Canada's doing it and now the Bank of England's doing it. Historically, though, and this all we're just doing about history. historically, you do see a lot of times these countries work in unison. We know that Donald Trump wants a rate cut, but it's not up to him. And I'll give it to him. Again, we've talked about this lots of times. Jerome Powell, say what you will about him. My man stands on business. He's not going to be influenced by Donald Trump. He's going to do his job, and he's going to make the right decision. That being said, there's ways to get him to make this decision the way we want it to. And seeing Canada and the Bank of England do it, there could be major problems in currency distributions if these other currencies are being cut in rates, and therefore liquidity is going up, the price of those currencies are going down, and America's skyrocketing. You would think, don't we want the price of the dollar to be more dominant than others? Yes, we want it to stay dominant, but it's so far ahead, it's not even funny. If it gets too far out and away, this actually can cause several problems down the road. So historically, when you see these other countries starting to cut rates, America either led the charge or is not far behind. Does that promise you that we're going to have another rate cut in March? Not necessarily, but this does encourage me that if anyone's thinking that we're about to tighten even more and about to go further to the upside with interest rates, I don't think that's the case. I think that we're very close to having another couple of cuts in the year 2025. And this is a big headline that's going to push us in that direction. Watching some of our, at this time, I know it's going to sound crazy, some of our still biggest allies, Canada and London, England, both cutting rates. It's going to be something that at least is on the table at the Fed's next meeting saying, hey, we got to discuss this. What's our next decision?
Yeah, absolutely. And finally, we'll get into our next story. Before we do, though, I want to give my take. Yeah, I think that the Fed is going to stay the course in March and potentially April as well. And we'll leave it there. Well, don't worry. There'll be plenty more opportunities to talk about the FOMC and what Jerome Powell's got going on over there. But for now, let's talk about Solana. $100 billion asset manager VanEck has thrown out this prediction of a $520 Solana by the end of the year, by the end of 2025. Tim, as the kids say, is this just a bunch of cap?
Cap would not be the right expression there. I love always getting to deal with what the kids say. It's all about the kids. This is a healthy prediction. This is a conservative prediction. If you guys watched my recent Solana price prediction video on our channel, this would play out for me the scenario in which Solana is a little disappointing. Probably still a top 5 altcoin, still doing well. Maybe the bull market as a whole didn't take off the way we thought it would. Maybe Solana specifically is losing some dominance to Ethereum or to Sui's emergence. But that to me is a realistic expectation of a disappointment for Solana. I think if Solana does what it really can do and should do, it's going to be way closer, if not over $1,000 by the end of the year. But it is on that lower end. In my video, I talk about $500 being the price prediction for a lackluster, disappointing bull market, $1,000 being hey, this is where Solana lives up to its real potential, what's possible. And then we have a moon boy scenario to $2,000 that it's just like, well, if Solana makes this massive run up, if Ethereum starts to fall off and having problems and Solana is kind of rivaling up there, then $2,000 for Solana is on the table. But I think this is a great prediction. I think a lot of people are going to take profit on Solana at $500. I mean, if you look at Solana right now, go take a look at the chart. It's sitting at 200. So it's not massive gains by any means. If we were to only go to 200, let's take a look. Let's get the exact number here. 500 there. 500 would only give us gains of 162%, right? So not even a 3x from here. It's money. I never say no to money. And guess what? If anyone ever wonders, like, hey, Tim, are you waiting for Solana to get to $1,000? Are you waiting for some of these higher price predictions? I absolutely am willing to change my opinion and take profit way earlier if the right circumstances present themselves in time, in news, in sentiment, and so many other things. If we're at $500 on Solana, and Coinbase is sitting at number 2 in the App Store, and we're seeing massive volume come in, but also bearish divergence. Heck yes, I'm taking profit at $500. I'm not waiting for $1,000 if all the signs are pointing to that being the top of the market. What I'll say is, what the signs are saying right now don't say that. And the fundamentals of Solana still tell me $1,000 or higher is still absolutely possible in this bull market.
Gotcha. Yeah, no, I think it could end up somewhere in that ballpark. Especially if Eric Trump were to come out and say, "Feels like a great time to enter Solana." We might see a pop in that direction.
Well, to be fair, that hasn't worked for the other ones he said so far. He
Right.
says it's a good time to buy Ethereum and Bitcoin, and yet both of them are down since his statement. So maybe we don't want Eric Trump to come out and say it's time to buy Solana right now.
That's right. Well, that is the end of the news, end of the things to discuss there. I think we go ahead and throw it over to the bros, see what tickers they would like analyzed on the charts, get a little TA, a little technical analysis going. How does that sound, Tim?
This sounds great. Let's get him here with chat. Let's answer some questions. By the way, 1,500 people over here on YouTube, 400 people on X. Wherever you are, smash that like button. Hit the subscribe button on YouTube. Hit follow on X. Again, thank you to our sponsor of today's episode, Lux Algo Indicators, the #1 trading tool out there. So many reasons to get it. Use our link below. Get 20% off. Also, if you want to be a part of our VIP trading group, if you love our analysis and want to see how we're investing, how we're trading, and get the details before 3 p.m. live shows, buying Lux Algo with our link gets you free access to that VIP trading group. So go sign up today with our link down below. By the way, you also have to join our Discord and let us know how you signed up, and we verify it, and then you get in there. So make sure to join the free Discord as well. Nikki Mitu says Don Jr. speaking at the ONDO Summit at 4:30. Thoughts? Bullish. I mean, if a Trump is speaking there, I know we just joked about Eric Trump kind of being bearish for some things. Don't look at things in the short term. Look at things in the long term. It's very bullish. Whether Don Jr. speaking at ONDO causes a short-term crash or a short-term rally, don't think about what this means for tomorrow's price action on ONDO. Think about what this means for the future. Think about not only what World Liberty Finance is doing with this information. Clearly, they're invested in ONDO and they want to go more. But look at the things that will follow suit. The other institutions, the other whales, the other big, big money that's going to say, well, if it's good enough for the Trumps, it's good enough for me as well. That's the way to think about this. And it spurs very long-term bullish implications, not just short-term. Redline says the Trumps are straight noobs. Donald's a straight noob. I don't know the experience of his sons. They probably haven't been invested. I mean, they definitely have not been invested as long as like me and Shroom have, and Smay. What's your definition of noob? Also, they're very smart with money. So you could call Michael Saylor a noob if you really want to be honest. I think I invested before Michael Saylor, but I'm not going to pretend to think that I know more about how money works than Michael Saylor. So timeline isn't always the best definition of who knows best about what. It really depends on how much time and research they put into a lot of different things. All right, let's take a look here. People are saying with a lot of different coins. Did get a super chat from ADA Warrior said, how much will the lack of fiat this cycle compared to last cycle? Wait, all right, got to restart this. How much will the lack of fiat this cycle compared to last cycle to this cycle affect how high we will go this cycle? A lot of cycles in there. But I think what you're kind of saying is the lack of fiat coming in. Like, I'm 88 Warrior, I'm not 100% certain exactly what your question is and what you're trying to say. I mean, there's a lot of liquidity still in the space right now, even with the dollar being very, very high. But I'll say what I say all the time. This is the bull market of institutional adoption. If we think that we're going to shoot to the stars and go crazy high based off of retail investments, no, retail isn't finished coming in. Again, there's going to be a great onslaught of retail that comes in that buys the top, and then the bull market's over more than likely. But the real catalyst that's going to get us there is the billions and trillions of dollars coming from the institutions, some of which have not even invested yet because of lack of regulatory clarity. We talked about that the other day. People ask this question all the time, trying to be more bearish, saying, oh, there's no way Bitcoin is going to make it over 100K. It did. There's no way anyone will buy Bitcoin over 100K. Some people have. If you're asking that question, who's buying these high prices to keep the bull market going to the upside? It's institutions. But you want to know how they think? They don't think like you and me. A lot of people right now watching this show are sitting here saying, how do I make money in a couple of months? Like I think a comment earlier, someone asked, do we still think this coin, Chainlink, or this can 10x in the next 6 months? And it could, but that's the wrong question. That's not the question that institutions think with. That's not the question that really wealthy individuals are thinking about. They're not asking how much money they can make in the next 6 months. They're asking how much money they can make in the next 10 years, 15 years, 20 years. And those are the people who are going to drive the market this time. So I think this market's completely different than what we've seen in the past. I've said it before. I think a conservative estimate is that previous bull markets were driven by at least 80% retail money, whereas this next bull market is going to probably at least be 50. I think it could be closer to 60 or 70, 50 to 60% institutional money, money that's never seen the space. And another thing, again, there are trillions of dollars that want to invest in Bitcoin, but they have rules according to their companies, rules according to their clients. They cannot invest in a speculative asset that's risky without certainties about what the rules of investing of it are. They would be buying right now if they could, but they're waiting for some clarity on what regulation is going to look like. So when you ask the question, who's buying Bitcoin at 100,000, 150,000, 200,000? It's the same people who are not buying and holding for 6 months. It's the people that think the Bitcoin is going to be $1 million in 5 years. It's going to be $13 million in the next 15 years. It's going to be $49 million in the next 50 years. Those are the people that will buy at 200,000. And if I could promise you right now, I can't promise anything, but if I could promise you, be honest with you, if I could promise you that Bitcoin will be at $1 million by 2030 and said, I'll sell it to you for 200,000, that's the cheapest I could go, are you not going to buy at 200,000? Don't lie and say you wouldn't. If you knew 100% it was going to 1 million in just 5 years, you absolutely would buy it. And guess what? That's how institutions think, not retail investors. Institutions think this thing is going high. It's the greatest thing the world's ever seen as far as currency. 200,000 would be cheap. I can buy it right now for less than 100,000. This is cheap. And they're going to buy in at these high levels, relatively high levels. They're going to be low levels in the next couple of years. All right. Let's see here. A lot of coins coming in here. 80 Warrior said last cycle we had stimulus money and dumb money. Stimulus money only lasted early, 88 Warrior. That wasn't what got everything else going. That was just a part of early 2020 that got us out of the crapper, really. Will mid-cap memes recover? Marshall Dockery. I don't know. I'm not gonna invest in it to figure out. I'm not a big fan of even the large memes, but I'm definitely not a fan of the mid-cap memes. I also think that when you look at some of the most brutal by the way, our Solana trade, anyone who's in our Solana trade on the VIP trading group just hit our take profit level because of the smart trail on the 50-minute chart. Show my chart real quick, Smay. We were trading this earlier. We were hoping for it to go higher to 194, but I told everybody, hey, take profit on the guarantee that 192, that was on Solana is going to be our take profit level. So I just took profit. Why did we say this? Because guess what, guys? Luxalgo, this great indicator, flashed a buy signal way back here. Green reversal right here, positive money flow right here, green momentum. We knew that we would come back and retest that smart trail at the very least. It could go higher, but this is the guarantee of the trade right here. If I lower this down, all this because of Luxalgo. People in our VIP trading group just made some big money right there. Congratulations to them. Back to what I was saying though, which is about meme coins. A lot of people got obliterated with meme coins in especially February 2nd. People got obliterated. Before that, these other big moves, people got obliterated. Remember, I said this is the bull market of institutional adoption. And if you're smart and you do your research and you want to invest in small cap meme coins, but you know when to get in, when to get out, what to look for, be my guest. But if you're new to investing, I encourage you to say, ask yourself this question. If I had $1 billion, if I was a billionaire, would I invest in this coin? Or what coins would I invest in? What coins actually show promise of future value and long-term wealth? Those are the coins you should be investing in. Even if you only have $100 right now to invest in crypto. Doesn't sound like a lot, but I'm a big fan of treat however little money you have, whether it's 100 or 1,000 or 100,000, whatever is little to you. Treat that money the same way that billionaires treat their billions. And you're going to live and think and invest the way a billionaire invests, and they know how to make money. Give it some time. Be patient. You'll make a lot of money in your life as well. Yeah. In the moment said, I agree. It took me 4 years before my first big meme coin win. Meme coins are, so Salamio said it. Meme coins are like casinos. Some people win big. The problem is for every one person that wins big trading a meme coin, there's hundreds, if not thousands of others who lose big. I'm not trying to be negative here, but what are the odds you're the one? You know, the odds are you're one of the thousands that lose a lot of money. I have 3K ONDO token where I take profits, sir, in the next couple of months. Yeah. Where should you take profits on ONDO in the next couple of months? Let's do some analysis here and take a look at what's happening. I've done this analysis before, but I think this is kind of holding up very nicely. Very simplistic. I have higher levels that could be very interesting here, but some things that I'll take a look at, some different price actions to keep an eye on. We got a nice inverse head and shoulders pattern still forming here on ONDO. I need to zoom in because that's ridiculously ugly and small. So let's zoom in here so it's a little better for you guys. There we go. That's prettier. You got a nice left inverse shoulder, so upside down shoulder right here. A lower dip called the head, and then with this most recent higher shoulder being formed. It's not the prettiest inverse head and shoulders pattern I've seen, but it is one that its potential could send the price of ONDO. Let's do some analysis here with this move. Let's go this up to a potential breakout spot. This would send the price up towards $7.35, give or take. That's high. You know, next couple of months, I think we can make a move up there. Another factor you might want to take a look at is looking at some Fibonacci retracement levels, where we've already come up here and we kind of topped out around the 127. There's going to be some people that probably take profit here around the golden pocket extension around $3. But then you're going to start looking at the 2 and the 2.35, and we're getting back into that camp of almost $7. I just, all that question though is like, trading wise, we'll look for small term trades. I'm still looking at ONDO and what's happening in the news right now and where I think it's going to go, which by the way, let me show you guys something real quick about ONDO. So if you go to the bubbles, where is ONDO? Where'd it go? It's small. It's not really, it's kind of breaking even. So it's going to be a really small bubble. Where'd you go? First person to find ONDO gets, there it is. All right. It wasn't small. It was big. It's actually gaining a lot right now. It's one of the biggest gainers. Look at this right now. It's at number 27. In the last 24 hours, it has risen 2 spots. If you go back to the last week, it's risen 3 spots. So that's not as much. If you go back to the last month, in the last month, ONDO has risen 38 spots to number 27. Okay. I don't believe this thing is done. I think ONDO is going to go much higher. I told you earlier, I think it's a fringe top 10 coin. I believe it can have a market cap in the world of $100 to $165 billion. But the mathematics on this, and I made a video about this recently, and I can't remember the exact numbers I said, but bear with me here. Low end, disappointing bull market, $9. I think realistically, with $150, $160 billion market cap, which is absolutely doable as being possibly the number 2 real world asset play in the world, $22 is my expectation for where I'm thinking I'll take profits in this bull market. Once again, if you're sitting here saying, is Tim going to turn the computer off and stop doing analysis and turn off the news and not take profit? He's just going to put his sell signal at $22. Heck no, that's not what I'm doing. I'm going to keep evaluating it. I'm going to still watch to see if something bad happens. I'm going to look at where the retail investors are doing, where the money's flowing, and who's getting the biggest collaborations. What I'm saying is their potential, if ONDO continues its trajectory of how impressive it is and how impressive it is to institutions, absolutely. People are going to call me ludicrous, but don't sleep on ONDO potentially making its way towards $20. Absolutely. All right. Let's keep going on. If you can only hold one, what are you hodling? Ooh. I'm not going to tell you what I'm voting for. Some of you already know. You go vote. Go vote on that poll. T-Shroom or Smay, do you guys see any questions? I do see there's chat here. Any questions you guys saw that you want me to answer? It's sometimes hard to answer questions and see.
Yeah, I've got a question. I've got one, Tim. Somebody way back, Kevin Thomas, if you're still watching, we're going to answer your question because you added Investing Bros. You said, add Investing Bros. Who are these institutions? If you're newer to trading, newer to investing, welcome. Go to my screen. This is the best personification of what we're going to expect. The institutional participation, which by the way has already started, but this was from January 21st of this year from Bitcoin Archives. At Bank of America's CEO say Wall Street is ready to come in hard for Bitcoin and crypto if the regulators allow them. Okay, this is a screenshot of CNBC, which is the biggest name in financial media. So it's not. Let me get you the detail here. The head of the second largest U.S. bank by assets was asked by a journalist about how the industry's approach to crypto could change given President Donald Trump's enthusiasm. His response was, if the rules come in and make it a real thing you can actually do business with, you'll find the banking system will come in hard on the transactional side of it. That was the CEO of Bank of America. Okay, so who are these institutions? The second largest bank, the first largest investment bank, BlackRock, right? Issues ETFs beginning of 2024, Bitcoin spot ETFs, the most record-breaking ETFs ever, beats out the gold ETFs in the first 40 days. That it took a year for the gold ETFs to do, which was the incumbent champion of ETF supremacy. Okay. When it comes to what institutions, it's the biggest institutions, right? Now, is it 100% universal consensus? No, right? There's other big institutions that are not into this, like many of the largest banks in China, for example, would be a good example. Mainland China, Vanguard back in Wall Street. Vanguard's not super big on Bitcoin. So it's not like a overwhelming consensus, right? But the consensus is growing and it's trending in the direction of you don't want to be at zero Bitcoin. Now, when it comes to crypto, this is specifically why I picked this quote, because they're talking about coming into crypto as well. Bank of America coming into crypto payments if regulators allow it. They know that blockchain is a superior technology to the dated programs that they use. They want to create a safer, better product for their clients because they're going to be able to make more money doing it that way. And they've already gotten their head around what blockchain can do. They've already been pitched several times from the AVAX representatives, salespeople, from Cardano, certainly from XRP, Chainlink. So, Tim, what do you think? What would be your response to this in terms of institutions getting involved here? Who are these institutions?
First of all, quick answer, it's all of them. Everybody wants to get into crypto, even the ones that are lying and say they don't. But it's being led. If you want to just one head, BlackRock. There's not a single institution or company more powerful in the world than BlackRock, and they are extremely vocal about their love for Bitcoin, ONDO, Chainlink, Ethereum, several others. I can't even name them all. But guess what? If BlackRock wants to buy, other institutions want to buy as well. We keep that nice and simple. One last question, then we're going to do our factoid of the day and probably call it a day here. I gotta get back up to it. All right, NCR Legend. Real quick answer here. NCR Legend says, Tim, can you tell me why when NASDAQ and S&P 500 dump, crypto dumps with it, but when NASDAQ and S&P 500 pump, crypto goes sideways, or dumb money, or dumb doesn't make sense, or dump doesn't make sense? There's one word for that, NCR Legend. It's called manipulation. And people don't like that. People don't like that simple answer. It's called manipulation. Guess what? Any excuse that these institutions we just talked about can buy cheap crypto, they're going to do it. It's another one of the reasons why I say this is a trap. It's another reason why I think this sentiment being so negative is a trap. Because just like that, people are going to connect that dot and say, oh, every time the stock market dumps, crypto dumps. And every time the stock market rallies, crypto does nothing. Crypto's the worst. I'm getting out. I'm selling. I'm capitulating. That's exactly what they want you to do. There will be a time, as there's been in other times. Like there's been times where crypto rallies and the stock market doesn't do well. There's going to be another time as well. Wait as real world assets continue to do their thing. Wait for an event like a U.S. government announcement that American-based cryptocurrencies are going to have no capital gains taxes on them. I guarantee you crypto will at least outpace any stock market run. You also could see crypto go like this and the stocks go like this. So manipulation is the word there, my friend. Hodl on and you're going to be all right. The charts are going up and to the right and nothing's changing that right now. With that said, though, it's been a fantastic show. We got to do our factoid of the day. Make sure, everybody, to smash that like and hit subscribe. Really quickly, want to give a special shout out as Smay, you come up here because I know our factoid of the day is always brought to you by Decrypted.tax. We love Decrypted.tax. Ernest is not just our financial tax guy here. Like, he does all the taxes for me and T-Shroom and the company. He's actually a good friend as well. Love getting to talk with him, a wealth of knowledge. It is tax season, everybody. And some of you might be thinking, I'll postpone taxes. Don't postpone your taxes. Deal with them right now. But I cannot tell you enough how valuable Ernest is as a tax authority, he's a lawyer. If there's any problems, he will go to court for you, but he's so good at it, he never goes to court. And you're sitting here thinking, yeah, I've heard this before. He's just going to charge me a lot of fees. Well, he does have fees. If you sign up with our link, you get 25% off. And what you can expect, I want to tell you my personal tax story. This last year, I fully expected, I did all the calculations in my head. I was looking at things. I said, I am probably going to owe the government an additional $5,000 in taxes. I had a job with some, money I paid tax already, but I had another job I got money. Anyway, long story. I thought I owed $5,000 taxes. I don't know what kind of magic Ernest did on my account. I got an $1,000 return. My buddy Greg used Ernest as well. He thought he was going to have to pay $30,000 in taxes. He did his math. He thought he had $30,000 owed. He got a $5,000 return. So whatever Ernest is cooking up over there, I don't know what it is, but it's magical. And you absolutely just give him a call. Like, you get a free 60-minute call. Just tell him the bros sent you. Tell him you want to see the magic that he gave to the bros. He will not let you down. Give Ernest a call. Shout out to decrypted.tax. Smay,
yeah,
go ahead and take it away.
I mean, it's hard to follow that one up. I'll be honest with you, Tim. But real quick, before we jump into the factoid, I just wanted to show you guys something. Here in the description of the video that you're watching, we have a link to this right here, the free Discord. Make sure you guys take advantage of this. I'm telling you. Let me give you a preview. Look at all this. Look at all this. Look at all this engagement and fun stuff you can learn. We love it. We love it. So with that, let's jump into the factoid of the day, brought to you by decrypted.tax. All right, this one's a nice, fun Bitcoin, keeping it simple. It's estimated that a significant portion of Bitcoin is permanently inaccessible due to lost private keys. Approximately what percentage of the total supply is believed to be lost? A, 5 to 10%, B, 10 to 15%, C, 20 to 25%, or D, 30 to 35%. Now, you guys have obviously analyzed this in the past before, but now this is a question of memory. How well do you remember?
I don't know if I've ever thought of this in terms of percentage. I'm pretty sure at least 5 million tokens are believed to be lost, but it could be more by this time. But that would be what, 25%? So there's a part of me, Shroom, that wants to go towards 20 to 25%, but
I was thinking B, Bravo.
You're thinking 10 to 15?
Yeah. 20 to 25 just seems too high.
I don't know if you can answer this, May. Would this include Satoshi?
I do not have the answer to that, but I will say for some people asking in chat, to emphasis on the word is believed to be lost. So this is not.
Yeah, that makes me think that Satoshi's included.
Right. So I mean, I don't know about that specifically, but some people are saying, well, that's impossible to know. But that's why this is an estimate, not an exact number based on.
I'm going B.
I'm going C. We're gonna split here. We'll see who's. I haven't right here. I should learn from my mistakes and just go with Shroom on this one, but I'm gonna stick. I'm hard headed. I'm gonna go with my own route and go C, 20 to 25%.
Well, with that, drum roll, Tim. There it is. Trust your gut. Always trust your gut.
The tides are turning.
It is C.
The tides are turning.
It is C. And so with that, congratulations, Tim. We love to see you win. Back to you.
So the elf, come back up here, Smay. The elf is in for a brutal awakening. I see in chat people saying it's 19, other people saying 18. Your answers are wrong.
I'm telling you that listen, if we want to employ a new elf, that's up to you guys. Yeah. I'm just getting what the elf is giving to me. And listen, first of all,
I understand why he was kicked out of the North Pole.
No, listen.
His work is very subpar.
Unless somebody gives me, you can do this in the free Discord, put link and tag me in proof that the elf is wrong. If you cannot generate proof, then you're lying and the elf is correct. Back to you guys.
Wait, the correct answer, there wasn't even an option for it because it went 10 to 15 and then 20
I know.
to 15.
I was surprised. Why are there gaps?
I think we need to have a discussion with this elf.
Listen,
Bros,
you know what?
this
Here's
has
what I'm
been
gonna
fun.
say. Here's what I'm gonna say. I gotta take my win. I haven't won a lot recently here, so I gotta take my win, and I gotta be happy with it.
I'm gonna hop in. Here's the deal. It's as simple as this. If the number is 19%, C is still correct because it's 20 to 25%. It's rounding up. You just round up, guys. It's simple. Come on, just round up just a little bit. Good grief! Did you not learn anything in school? Anyways, back to you.
I love it.
All right,
I love
everybody. All right. If you guys enjoy Smay, drop a 1 in chat and smash that like button. If you don't enjoy Smay, then it's okay. He's just going to cry about it. Still smash the like button on your way out. Guys, hit subscribe if you have not done it already. If you enjoyed the show, all the information and the charts and the conversation, make sure you're a part of the Bros community by subscribing. Make sure you're over in our free Discord. And if you want to go further and learn how to study the charts, the news, the research, the fundamentals, that is what the Bro Academy, the Bro Lux packages are all about. Go into our description right now. Take a little gander at all the things going on down there. And I think you're going to find something that will help you out immensely. With that said, though, we love you guys. We'll see you tomorrow. Same time, same place. Real quickly, though, I was going to say this earlier. People were asking about DOT earlier. I said something about DOT yesterday that scared a lot of people. Tomorrow morning, I will be doing a Tim's Take in the free Discord. I will elaborate on some I can't tell everything about what I know about Polkadot. I will elaborate a little more on what I've heard. So you got to be in that free Discord. You got to come to Tim's Take tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time if you want to hear more about DOT. Guys, love you. See you tomorrow. Adios.